Welcome everyone to Steel Heels. This is Colleen Ferrary. I am the host and founder of Steel Heels. I'm also the proud founder and owner of Small Business USA, Generating Winners, Networking Golf, and Insight CEO. I've been very busy over the last few years. I'm very, very happy doing it. I've never had so much fun in my life. And I'll tell you, it's because of a resolution I made in 2009. And it might have taken me a couple of years to kick it into gear, but I've learned so much along the way. And that's what Steel Heels is about. It's about teaching you what I've learned. It's about helping you regain your life back and promising yourself and committing to yourself that you can have it all and helping you go after it and introducing you to some women who have made a great difference in my life, who have inspired me, motivated me, and even picked me up when I'm down. So welcome to Steel Heels, ladies. Are you ready to have it all? Oh, you better be. Now, if anybody knows anything about Steel Heels, we want to make this short. We want to make it to the point. We want to tell stories, and hopefully I'll entertain you a little bit. But I love to talk, and more importantly, I love to hear the stories of people whose lives have changed after I met them. So let's create some stories here, and let's create your story. Let's make a story that feels so good for you that you can't wait to tell it in 5 years. So most of you know in 2009, I went to this great women's summit with some friends, and Mademoiselle Giuliano, for the CEO of Vive Clicquot and an author, stepped up on the stage, and I was so intent on seeing her and so excited. She was an accomplished author. She had just published a book, and I could not wait to see her. Here was a woman who, to me, perceived to have it all. She got up on that stage, and what did she say? I am here to tell you, ladies, that you cannot have it all. Well, I've told this story so many times, but it still inspires me today, and I hope it inspires you, because I will tell you that Mademoiselle Giuliano was wrong. You can have it all. So let's get busy, shall we? Because it's time for you to have it all as well. You know, I went to go visit Mademoiselle Giuliano and this women's summit. And a year later, you know, we had all decided, we're sitting at this table and we heard her say this, and we're like, no, this is baloney. This is crap. We can have it all. You know, she doesn't know us, apparently. And the truth was, we looked around that table and not one of us sitting there at the table had it all. We all had this empty spot that we knew, there was this hunger that we knew was not being fulfilled. So, you know what we did? We got back to our offices that day and came up with a better plan. And all of a sudden, before we knew it, we were working twice as hard and achieving more. But still, we weren't answering those really important questions. And those are, what was having it all? What did that mean? You know, as Muriel Giuliani said, having it all as a wife, being a good wife, having a good husband, being a great CEO, having great children, having great friends. Well, I think you can have all those things, but you just need to plan how you're going to make that happen. You can't just say, I want this. When was the last time you said, I want groceries to appear in my house? And you didn't order them and all the right things were delivered. It just doesn't happen that way. You can't go to your team and say, I want us to have record sales, and not teach them how. So why should your life be any different? So we're going to go through those steps. And, you know, today is a really important day, because I think today I sit here saying, you know, I may not have achieved all of my goals, but I'm really happy to tell you that I have it all. I really am enjoying every moment of my life. And had I not made the decisions I made 5 years ago, I would not be here today. So let's get you started, shall we? And along the way, maybe I'll bring myself to my next goal. So, you know, after listening to Mademoiselle Giuliani, a year later, Jack Welch was on a show with Leslie Stahl on Sirius Radio. I was so excited to hear him as a student of his. I loved his books and I studied him as a leader. He was really an inspiration. But he went on record saying that women could never be great CEOs because they could never put their business in front of everything else. What? Well, I've got to tell you something. Jack Welch is no woman I've ever met. And ladies, What do we know about our gender? You know, what is it? We can do anything. If we want to roar, we can roar. These heels aren't made of steel for their looks. We have the ability to not only focus on more than one thing at a time, we have the ability to kick ass doing it. We have the ability to roar. And I am here to tell you, ladies, that you can have it all. So our podcasts are going to be short. Why? Because we're busy. Come on, ladies. I didn't need to answer that question. We are going to pump each other up. We are going to inspire each other to heights we have never imagined. And yes, we, every single one of you, is going to have it all. So shall we get started? Today, we're going to take the first step in creating the next step in the most important journey of your life. I'm not going to coddle you. We're going to do some tough work to make a difference. If you're wondering if you have what it takes to have it all, am I making you nervous right now? I want you. Yes, the answer is yes. Every one of you. Every single one of you has the ability to have it all. You just need to slow down for a minute and figure out how. And you have to figure out why. If you're wondering if you have what it takes to have it all, if I'm making you a little bit nervous right now, I want you to reach in and give yourself a reason to have it all. Do you know who knows Simon Sinek, Brendon Burchard, Tony Robbins? They make a boatload of money inspiring you to dig in and find your why. So I'm not going to ask you for any money today. I'm just going to force you to dig in and find your why. I'm going to tell you a quick story. One day I was sitting in my office and I had one of those vision boards with all my goals on there. And everything I was listening to Tony Robbins, actually. And that's why I created that vision board. I had to have my why. I had all the things that money could buy for me and my daughter and for me and my daughter. And I pasted on that board. It was a college education, a dream house, a great car. But I tell you, that vision board didn't really change my life or my actions. It didn't pick me up and make me move. It didn't make my heart dance. I had this moment sitting in the chair at that moment that my why wasn't big enough. My internal why wasn't saying enough. And I want to ask you, is why you're doing it big enough? It took a lot of pain and truth. I'll tell you what mine is today. It's about making a difference. But that doesn't matter. That day, sitting in the office, looking at those boards, I needed to find my real truth. I needed to find something that would motivate me to overcome every obstacle. So I thought about it. You know what I wanted? I wanted all those women in my neighborhood that judged me because I went to work every day to kiss my ass. Instead of hanging out at Starbucks in their $120 yoga pants their husbands bought them, I wanted them to be envious of me. I was tired of defending myself and I wanted to give them something else to talk about besides the fact that pumpkin spice latte was back and how sad it was that I was a single mom in Stepford. That was a hard truth for me. It was a hard truth, but it was a motivating truth. Truth was, I was a single mom, ton of great friends, pretty darn happy, but I was still working to pay the bills, and I realized at that moment that I had given up on the idea that I could have it all. I had given up on the belief that I deserved it all. You've got to be tough. You've got to dig deep. A friend of mine recently said her success was entirely due to her father telling her she would never be successful. Her why was getting even with her father. That's honest. You have to find your why. What motivates you? Today, I don't give a hoot about those Stepford wives. I'm focused on me and what's next, about building a legacy and having it all. The day I decided I deserved more, I want you to pay attention. The day I decided I deserved more, I got more. I took more. I had higher expectations of myself. If you're anything like me, you've told yourself that you may not deserve everything. Life has been great. How could I ask for more? The day I decided that maybe all those Disney stories could be true is the day I started dating again and not wasting time on people who I might have to spend some energy on making into my Prince Charming. The day I believed that there was one man who was perfect for me was the day I started to make finding him a reality. For those of you who don't know, I've been married to my Prince Charming for a year now. I mean, it's just amazing. So today, I want this for you too. I want you to decide that you deserve more. I want you to decide that it's time for you to get more. And most importantly, I want to help you take that very important step in order to take and get what you deserve, because you do deserve it. How does that sound? Today is our first real day together, and I want you to do two things. First, I want you to really, really figure out what it is that you want. Not what you can get. What do you want? Think big. Think outrageous. Think loud. You have to be brave with your wish list. You have to believe you can get it. You have to know you can get it, and you have to know what it looks like. That vision board, although it was on the board, wasn't enough to motivate me, but it wasn't not what I wanted. This young lady in my daughter's class confided in me that she wanted to be student council president. When I asked her why she wasn't going after it and telling everyone, she told me she couldn't be elected and there were kids far more popular and they would beat her. That night, when I was talking to my daughter, I asked her about Emma. She echoed completely the opposite. Mom, everyone loves her. I think if we knew she wanted that, there would be a bunch of us that would help her make it happen. I mean, this is a young kid saying, Mom, if she wants it, we're going to help her get it. I love this, right? The next day, Emma decided she deserved it. Had she never decided that she deserved it and that she would be great at it, she would never have gotten it. Decide today that you are worthy. You deserve it. Say that when you go to bed. Say that when you wake up. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. I deserve it. Because you do. As women, sometimes we think we're asking too much and we give so much to our kids and our family and we give. You do deserve it. You deserve because you give. If you want it, you have to be brave enough to admit that you want it and go after it with no fear of failing. Okay, number 2, second. I want you to dig deep and find that why. I know this is not a little thing to ask. I want your real why, no matter how embarrassing, how painful or selfish it is. Define your why and figure out how to post that somewhere you'll see it every day. So I put a picture of my 3 neighbors on the beach in a cape laughing and waving at me. The same 3 women who condescendingly told me I probably couldn't figure out how to get away like they did because I didn't have any support. The same ones I caught talking about me at a lacrosse game, and I graciously interrupted as they wondered how I could put my daughter at risk by starting my own business. Truth was, they didn't know they irritated me or even motivated me. The picture in my office just looked like a picture of friends waving and laughing because they didn't believe in me. But 3 successful businesses and a successful speaking career later, that picture gave me something to prove. It helped me sprint over every hurdle. I wanted to stop so many times in this journey. But seeing that picture, stopping before winning the race, giving them the last laugh, that was not going to happen. That picture, that reason, that why helped me get what I deserve. So ladies, what is your why? What is so powerful that it will make you move mountains? Don't be afraid of saying it, touching it, or using it today. Don't be ashamed that it may not be your husband or your children. Your why is powerful, and it's probably very deep-seated. What you deserve to have your life look like in 5 years That needs to be your focus. That's your last thing. Take your want and take your why and write down what that looks like to get there. Start 5 years out. What do you deserve to have your life look like in 5 years? What does that mean you need to accomplish each year? Write it down. Spend the time. Spend that time writing down your plan, writing down your why. More importantly, telling you deserve it and that you can do it. Because I know, ladies, if you're on this call, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're part of Steel Heels, that you can have it all. See you next week.